I think we're in an era of digital finance now, and it's inevitable that the markets, the instruments, the infrastructure will need to change and evolve.
Decentralized applications to realize that overarching vision. That vision is going to be realized in every sector of the industry. I mean, what you hear about a lot is the finance sector, but it's much broader than that. It's going to be in finance, it's going to be in real estate, it's going to be in supply chain use cases, and et cetera, et cetera. Every part of the internet, every sector of society is going to be affected by this technology and this model in this new version of the internet that's being created. And Hedera is one of those players.
The internet in 1996 is a fantastic analogy for crypto as to where it is today. So when people say, what is the promise of crypto? What's it good for other than rank speculation? My answer is, well, Ripple has a real world application to facilitate cross-border payments.
Alrighty, everybody, welcome back to another CYPRX video banger. In today's video, we're going to be jumping down the rabbit hole, discussing and talking about the future financial landscape. Now, at the very beginning of this video breakdown, you heard some representatives, some very important individuals speaking from Hedera Hashgraph, Quant Network, and Ripple. Now, in my personal opinion, these three major players in the industry are going to be some of the market participants that survive the regulatory purge, that are utilized and implemented into the real world via the solutions that they provide, whether it be their blockchain solutions, distributed ledger technology solutions, or their digital asset solutions, as we head into this digitally transformed economy. With that being said, if you all enjoy these deep dives showing you guys valuable information that's never going to reach the mainstream, do us a favor, smash that thumbs up button and subscribe. None of this is financial advice. I'm not telling you guys to go out there and buy Quant, XRP, or HBAR. I'm just showing you all devil's in the details, doing research, so that way you all, again, can hopefully take it upon yourselves to dive a little bit deeper. So we're going to start here, and I'm going to show you all how this digital transformation agenda is no joke, and how these reputable companies and organizations are working with public sectors, particularly focusing on the UK today, to enhance digital transformation. So let's jump into this web browser here. This is from KPMG, a major consulting firm, where they go on to talk about how the digital maturity of public sector organizations is low as of right now, according to new research conducted by Forrester on behalf of KPMG. It highlights the challenges facing technology leaders as they seek to accelerate digital transformation of UK services. Now, keep in mind some things that we have been covering in previous video breakdowns: digital transformation, this new world order, transitioning into this new digital economy, then building out a new infrastructure that's going to play an important role today in this video, going over the infrastructure playlist on our YouTube page, so that way you all are up to date on what's happening behind the scenes, especially if you're new to the CYPRX platform. We mentioned that almost every single organization, governmental entity, bank and financial institution has a digital transformation leader or crypto blockchain someone in their backend system, enhancing all of their infrastructure as we speak today. So we're going to download this document. We're going to head over here and read it. And it says, UK public sector must accelerate digital transformation to achieve digital maturity. Now, remember, we are entering into an era where hype and all of this speculation is going to start to fade into the background, and we're going to enter into an era of utility as this market starts to mature.
So we've seen this ecosystem, the blockchain ecosystem, evolve over the past decade and a bit. The narratives have come and gone. We started up with the Bitcoin narrative, we moved through the ICO narrative, moved to NFTs, and now we're seeing all the hype has been and left the system, and we're actually now seeing real value, real fundamentals becoming the dominant narrative as it's moving in.
Here it goes on to say, as the digital landscape, let's zoom in, as the digital landscape continues to evolve, the UK public sector faces a pivotal moment for self-reflection and change. It becomes imperative to perform a strategic evaluation of the current digital transformation activities. Now, let me show you all some of these digital transformation activities that were previously announced in the past and then most recently announced, just to show you guys that these organizations that I mentioned and showed you all representatives from speaking at the beginning of this video breakdown, like Hedera Hashgraph, Ripple, Quant Network, are the ones at the forefront of this technological transformation. So here we can see, going back to October 18, 2022, Hedera Hashgraph partners with the UK government, i.e. the public sector, in order to do what? To create air traffic control networks. Hedera Hashgraph, HBAR, an enterprise-grade altcoin that focuses on security and regulatory compliance, that's going to play an important role in just a second as we get into an EY document, is seeking to go airborne after it secured a huge infrastructure partnership. Pay attention to that key vocabulary word. So we have regulatory compliance and infrastructure. Now remember what Lehman Beard said about Hedera Hashgraph helping build out this infrastructure to handle the vast amounts of data that are set to be flooding into the space as volume, transactions, and usability grows moving forward.
Because, of course, if you're immutably storing everything forever and you have 1,000 transactions a second or tens of thousands or whatever, you have to be storing that and then be able to access it quickly and all of that. And so there's a lot of infrastructure that is being built right now to handle all this usage that is coming.
Another example from more recent times, we can see right here, Quant, HSBC, R3 Visa, among 13 others chosen by the UK Finance to join next prototype phase. Again, UK Finance, public sector partnerships. And we know via documents that I just showed you guys, the public sector in the UK must enhance their digital transformation efforts. And I'm showing you what organizations and what companies they are choosing, like Hedera Hashgraph or like Quant Network, in order to do this. Again, devil's in the details. This is from April 16, 2024. The UK Finance has unveiled plans for a new phase of experimentation with the UK Regulated Liability Network, or the RLN for short, involving 11 of its member institutions. The RLN initiative aims to establish a versatile platform for innovation, accommodating various forms of currency, including traditional commercial bank deposits and tokenized equivalents, by fostering collaboration among multi-stakeholders in financial sector. The RLN seeks to explore advanced payment transactions and liability settlement solutions, check this out, for the digital marketplace of the future. Key words right there, because again, remember, vast majority of individuals overestimate expectations of this digital asset landscape in the short term and are underestimating the overall expansion and growth of this digital asset landscape in the long term. So again, buckle down and understand the long-term perspective. What they're building right now is the digital marketplace for the future, not for the now, for the future. We can see the participants that were involved in this whole entire endeavor. Major financial institutions like Citi, HSBC, Lloyd's Banking Group, MasterCard. I mean, we see Hedera partners here. We see Ripple partners here. We see XDC partners here. I mean, you cannot make this stuff up. But what I want you to pay attention to is how I highlighted in yellow, supported by EY. So again, remember, we're going to come back to that because they're choosing to work with Quant Network. Well, right down here, it goes on to say representatives from participating institutions also expressed their enthusiasm for the RLN project and its potential to drive innovation and modernization in the financial sector. That's going to play an important role later on as well. They highlighted the benefits of enhanced payment functionality, reduced fraud, and improved customer experiences that could result from the initiative's success. While we live in a digital age in which people and companies expect digital finance to operate globally at speed, with better security at scale, but our legacy payments and financial infrastructure has not kept up. As the UK seeks a leadership position in financial markets, projects like the RLN highlight the central role that shared ledgers will play in this transition and offer a model we can extend to other markets, said Gilbert Verdium, our founder and CEO, again at Quant. We're delighted to be a key part of this important initiative, which is so closely aligned with our company vision, which is to empower an interconnected world. The RLN initiative is bringing the industry together to work towards a shared goal, harnessing the benefits of tokenized finance in the manner that is regulated. That's going to play an important role. We're going to come back, and interoperable. So remember, let's just start and just recap everything, okay? UK public sector must enhance their digital transformation efforts. And I'm physically showing you guys the organizations in which they're choosing to do that with. Hedera Hashgraph, working with the UK government. And look right down here. It mentions the terminology regulated. They're focused on security and regulatory compliance. Quant Network, same thing. They're focused on regulation and interoperability. Okay. Now let's go into this right here, back to the EY mention, because here we can see a document from EY. And the reason why I'm showing you all this is because remember, you all remember on a panel discussion what the lady said about us moving into a regulated environment and how things that used to work aren't going to work in the future moving forward, and that these regulations are going to be ushered in between 2024 and 2025.
Different functions, different features. And I'm going to switch gears a little bit to talk about the market infrastructure and data side. So Elodie, what key trends have you been seeing lately around here?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll try to make it simple and to anchor this on like 3 different points. The first one being around the changes that are inherent to the new different requirements coming up with some of the accountant standards. I'm sure if you're in the US, you may have heard of FSAB. If you're in Europe, you may have heard of like DAC 8. Not talking about MiCA and other regulations. The regulatory framework is going to change the way you operate. So we've talked a lot about policy changes and legal requirements. There is one other thing that's important to understand when you navigate the digital asset space is all of those requirements have a direct operational impact. What we are seeing in the market as a data provider is that we're seeing a convergence towards traditional finance standards. I think the previous panel was talking about MiFID, MiFIR, and others that you probably know very well in traditional finance. We are also seeing an increase in terms of reporting with DAC 8 and FSAB. Now you need to report on the fair value of digital assets. We're going through like a transition year in 2024 with everything effective in 2025. So definitely, when you operate in the system, you need to have the right partners. You need to like get more maturity in your operating systems because the way things were working before will not work anymore.
Take that into consideration when you're investing in this space. It should be for the long term. What potential projects, cryptocurrency assets are going to perform well in the long term, and you're not hunting and trying to stimulate your brain on immediate gratification. Because I can almost guarantee you that these meme coins and the speculative phase that we're in the digital asset landscape will cease to exist in the future, and projects like Hedera Hashgraph and Quant will be ones that survive because they're focused on things that matter now, like regulatory compliance, interoperability, scalability, high throughput, so on and so forth. Okay. Token due diligence. This is from EY. This is an EY document. So just to go back, remember, supported by EY, and they're talking about regulation, right? They're talking about enhancing the UK digital infrastructure via the public sector. Token due diligence, a structured approach to elevate digital asset risk. This is from February 2024. So this is updated as well. And we can see right down here what it mentions. With more than 10,000 digital asset tokens tracked by CoinGecko in circulation, it may be difficult to ascertain quality from the noise, mimetic from consequential, and groupthink from adoption, though it may be likely that many of these tokens currently provide no tangible value to holders aside from a form of speculation and community engagement. A small subset may revolutionize the world as innovative disintermediation tools with robust value capture, right? That's literally coming from EY. So they're literally telling you all that 10,000 digital assets are not going to survive in the future, and that eventually utility, a era of utility will take over. Going back to this document, this is supported by EY, an organization telling you all that there's going to literally be a purge most likely in the future of assets that have no quality, and we can see who they're working with. Quant, right? We can see who else the UK is working with. Hedera Hashgraph. You guys see what I'm showing you right now, okay? Again, this is information that the mainstream's never going to bring to light. Moving on, this is a great post put out by a gentleman named Arthur Bettel, and he goes on to say, new technologies, AI, and the blockchain are reshaping the way banks and financial institutions are operating for the better. Banks face a strategic crossroad with cryptocurrencies on the rise. Stay on the sidelines, cautiously enter the market, and fully integrate crypto and blockchain services. Take a second and listen to this panelist confirm some things that we've mentioned in previous video breakdowns, that these financial institutions are going to have to adopt. They're going to have no choice. Once one financial institution adopts these digital assets, they all will flood in. It'll be a spiral effect because they know that if they don't, they will lag behind in technological advancements.
The next question is a really hot question. We're all talking about right now about this. We had Larry Finks and Jamie Dimon and all these chaps for a long time saying that sorry for my French, that this was all crap, that everybody was fraudster, that, we were going to scam the world with this new asset class. And just a few months ago, they all jump into it, all right? And they're doing very well. It's over $1 billion being added every day into this new asset class, the ETF in Bitcoin. So my question to this signature, and we'll start with Maher, is how do you see traditional institutions adapting to Web3 finance? To be honest, they have no choice. I mean, look at the debate was going on between Jamie Dimon and his own company. Jamie Dimon was last year, even before, was coming and speaking against the cryptocurrencies. His company was unloading billions of cryptocurrencies. So we could not really interpret that. So that's a debacle going on. So eventually, even Larry Fink, I don't think he's being honest about it, to be honest with you. So I think they will definitely have to sit and understand how it's going to be done. They're using a program of blockchain themselves because it's benefiting them. That's the important piece. So all the banks, some of the banks I know of, they already have adopted a private blockchain. But it's a matter of time they'll bring in the other part of it as well. And this is how the collaboration will happen.
Some other interesting things to pay attention to in this post that he mentioned is it goes on to say, so what's the plan for banks to stay relevant? Adapting business models, how new business models incorporating blockchain technology can bring efficiency in new service offerings. Strategic partnerships and collaborations with fintechs can help traditional banks navigate the complexities of the crypto space. Now, before I read this next segment, remember a video breakdown that I showed you guys from back at the beginning of 2024, where Brad Garlinghouse mentioned the terminology infrastructure, claiming that Ripple is an infrastructure provider and they will continue to be focused on infrastructure development. Again, reiterating back to our infrastructure playlist, go back and watch the videos that we have in that playlist so you can be up to date with how embedded Ripple is with building out this new financial infrastructure.
Look, Ripple at its core is a blockchain infrastructure company serving enterprises. We started with payments and financial institutions. We've moved into custody, a lot of overlap with those same financial institutions. But we're going to expand with that same thematic of infrastructure, enterprise-based. It served us well.
Now pay attention to what Arthur Bettel says in this post. He says, in order for banks to stay relevant, they must invest in infrastructure. Banks will need to invest in both hardware and software that can handle blockchain technologies. Well, today on a major news platform, Updated, look what Brad Garlinghouse said about Ripple providing the infrastructure for this entire digital asset landscape.
Custody solutions around blockchain and crypto. We're going to keep expanding, even though the U.S. market, as we were talking about earlier, partly from a regulatory point of view, has been slow to adopt. The non-U.S. market has been really, really strong for us. And you're going to be the infrastructure around all of that. That is our goal. And we think that opportunity is huge. We think that's going to be great for Ripple. We think it's going to be great for XRP, which is a digital asset we use.
That is absolutely massive. Again, devil's in the details. We've been trying and attempting to show people, and now they're starting to trickle this information in and drip feed it to the masses, but the masses won't be able to pick up on this. Last but not least, we have this fundamental piece from Arthur Little, banking on cryptocurrencies. And I'm just going to read some little tiny snippets and highlights. And it goes on to say, and this takes us to the center of the crypto conundrum, regulation, and most particularly how much there should be and what form it should take. While crypto has long been considered a hot tub of criminal activity, in reality, this could be overstated. Remember, the mainstream is being pumped information that crypto is used for illicit market purposes. It's used for terrorism financing and so on and so forth. However, research by blockchain data platforms Chain Analysis suggests it accounted for under 1% of the total crypto activity between 2017 and 2020. Whether or not this figure is accurate, the truth remains that better know your customer regulations, periodically reporting, and greater penalties for violations will help dampen bad actor events. This in turn will increase trust in cryptocurrencies. Cryptocurrencies are not going away. Banks would welcome clear regulations to enable them to move forward with confidence rather than overstepping the mark or holding back for fear of making a mistake. Ultimately, there may be no consensus on regulation, with some opting to go light on regulations in an attempt to gain economic advantages or doing so at a local level. For example, the New York City Mayor, Eric Adams, is intent on transforming the city into a hotspot for cryptocurrencies. Now, I found that interesting because I found a video clip where, again, The vast majority of individuals in the digital asset space think that the United States is falling or lacking behind in regulation. Here is an updated panel discussion from just a couple of weeks ago that took place, where a panel representative actually said that behind the scenes, the United States is working on and has robust regulation and is actually leading the way.
A good faith purchaser of these crypto assets basically had no protections. The UCC amendments under certain conditions are bringing protections to a good faith purchaser so that they take free. What is the rest of the world doing in this space? Well, you will be surprised to hear, particularly if you've been following more sort of the financial regulation side here in the US, that when it comes to these private law matters, what has happened here in the US is far ahead compared to other jurisdictions.
So again, take that into consideration, because everybody's manipulated into thinking that the United States is falling behind, when in reality, behind the scenes, they are not. So while strong reservations remain, there is a growing recognition that the crypto industry is here to stay. Though as yet only 2 countries, both small and with no fiat currency of their own, accept crypto as legal tender. Last but not least, the calling of the crypto herd. This goes on to solidify what we mentioned in the EY document, that eventually there will be a purge. At least most likely that will be the scenario moving forward. So it would behoove investors to be paying attention to investing in the long term in projects and digital assets that have the potential to survive regulations, potential quantum computing, the post-quantum computing realm, right? Anyways, given the sheer number of cryptocurrencies, it's not difficult to predict that very soon there will be a major retrenchment. How many of today's standard cryptos can have a long-term future when they are neither distinctive nor have any real purpose other than a speculative vehicle that can be easily manipulated through a pump and dump scheme that pushes up the price, enabling those in the know to sell off their coin and let others take the hit as prices fall? Because major trust issues remain around crypto, investors may be well gravitated toward top-tier cryptocurrencies that are seen as a more reliable or having something extra to offer. This will lead to a game where whoever is left behind loses, as lower layers of stragglers fall behind the wayside, either through lack of demand or a level of feature sought by users and investors, or from the tightening of regulations that hit those who take too many risks. Eventually, we are likely to see the majority of cryptos disappearing from the market, leaving up to just 30 to 50 winners. That is an absolutely massive statement, and again, something to consider. So what we're trying and attempting to show you all in today's video breakdown is there is for a fact a digital transformation happening. Again, confirmations via the UK public sector having to enhance their digital transformation efforts. And whom are they choosing to work with in order to do this? They're working with technology providers and companies like Ripple, who we know is partnered with the Digital Pound Foundation. We know that they're working with Hedera Hashgraph. We know that they're working with the Quant Network. And we know that all these organizations are in an attempt to make their digital assets regulatory compliant. So just take those things into consideration moving forward, because we know that they're building out the new financial system. And right now, we as early adopters of this technology should be playing the long term, zooming out and seeing the potential of this digital asset landscape later on in life as the maturity of this digital asset ecosystem unfolds. As always, bring you guys the realest information. Do us a favor, smash that thumbs up button and subscribe. We do appreciate the love and the support, and I will see you all in the next video breakdown.